Hi everyone. Welcome to HNM Technologies online training. In the last video, we learned the basics of exception handling, try, except, else, and finally. That was like learning the rules for the game. We're going to learn how to raise an exception ourselves and how to create our own custom exception types. This is what professional Python code developers do. And by end of this video, you'll also go through best practices for error handling, the patterns that makes your code clean, readable, and production ready. Let's dive into the topic. Let me open our VS Code. Yeah, this is a VS Code. Custom exception and best practices. So far, exceptions were beginner raised by Python. When Python detected something wrong, it raised an exception automatically. But you can also raise an exception yourself. You use the raise keyword for this. Why would you want to do this? Because imagine you are building a ticket booking system. A user enters -5 tickets by mistake. Python doesn't know that's wrong. It's just a number. But you know it's wrong for your application. So you raise an exception yourself. Okay, let's see how to raise a exception with help of a raise keyword. For this, I am defining a function check age. Here my parameter is age, and if that age is less than 0, instead of printing, I am just raising keyword raise keyword a value error. That is, age cannot be negative, and if age is less than 18, here I am taking rising a value error. That is, age must be 18 or older. It must be 18 or older to book ticket, right? Now I'm printing formatted output age, which is age verified. You can proceed. Then let's test this. To test, I'm taking a try, checking age -5, and here I'm accepting a value error. I'm using as to get that exact value error. Here I'm printing validation error. Validation error is whatever the error we're taking from the value error. Now here I'm printing a dashes to make our output terminal looks great. Here I can try. Again I'm trying. Checking is with the 15. We'll see the both output for -5 and 15 at a time. A value error e. Same thing here. Printing validate. And let's try to print another one. And try with the age greater than 18. So here I'm check age with 25. Here I make a value as CO's output terminal for both negative and positives. Validation error. Age cannot be negative. First one because age is 15. And the validation error, the second one is a age must be 18 or older to book. For that I am taking age 25, and here the output is age 25 verified. You can proceed. We can raise any built-in exception, whether it is a value error, type error, runtime error, or anything that we discussed in a previous video. Different type of errors. You choose the one that makes the most sense for a situation based on the situation. Custom exception classes. Now the real part move, creating your own exception classes. Why we need this? Because built-in exceptions are generic. They're predefined. When you build a real application, you want exceptions that are specific to our domain or as per our needs. For example, a banking app might have insufficient funds error, or a movie booking app might have a seat not available error and invalid movie error, even for an API authentication error or rate limit error. Depends on the domain, we have different errors. So now let's discuss how to make our custom errors. The only motive, these custom expressions make our code much more readable and easier to debug. So getting exceptions is very simple. Just a class that is invalid movie error, and getting exception, a class seat not. Observe one thing here. Every function I'm writing within a Pascal case. Every word is in a title first letter is a capital letter, because we always write a classes like this only, except like this also KMK class name with invalid rating. That's it. Just inherit from exception, and our custom exceptions is ready. But let's make them more useful by adding a custom message and extra data. Here I'm creating a class which is not available. Inside that, or exception. Then I am defining our init method, the dunder init. As usual, what is the first parameter? Self, then requested, then available. After that, movie, right? So I need to initialize them. Self dot requested is requested. After initializing, then I'm calling the parent constructor with a nice message that is using a super method, super dot dunder init. Here I formatted my art is cannot book requested seats for movie name, movie only available. After that, I am creating another class. Class name is movie error exception, and defining the dunder init after self movie name, self dot movie name. Then using the super. Here I'm printing a movie name is not in our database. Then same way, another class which is a easy restriction error, defining a dunder init. Now we created the movie booking system. Let's use this. We'll take some blockbuster movies, triple R. We'll take data as a key value pairs. This is the movie, 3 movies, triple R, Pushpa 2, Bahubali. And now I'm defining our function is book movie ticket. Here I'm taking movie name, seats request, then user age. Here I'm checking if the movie ticket is exist. Okay. If movie name not in our movies list, movies dictionary. Now I'm raising a invalid error with the movie name. Like this, we also created a check age restriction, check seat availability, and if it is all good. Okay. Now let's test the all the scenarios. Test cases I'm taking in the form of list inside a tuple. There is a data triple or 225. This is the arguments. Okay. For all the movies, triple or KGF 3, triple or Pushpa 2, and the Pushpa 2, we give a different parameters. And now for movie, comma age, this is the parameters that were data we given in test cases. To run all this, I'm trying book movie ticket inside a movie, seats, and age. For this, I am accepting invalid error. To get the error, I am using a as. So I'm printing formatted output. Movie error is what are the error we get, that invalid error we are printing. Okay, same way here I'm expecting age restriction error as E, and also another except which is a seat no available error as right. Here I'm printing seat error, then print all. Here we can see something we're getting an error, trace back error at line 56 74 98. I'll check. Okay, here you can see it's just is one letter missing. Instead of movie, I just gave a move MOVA. Okay, see the output here. Booking confirmed 2 seats for a triple R, because we give a for triple R 2 seats, age is a 25, and for KGF 3 is not in our database, because in our movies database we have only triple R Pushpa 2 Bahubali. Okay, so that's why KGF 3 not in our database. Pushpa 2 1 ticket and age 50. For this we get a age error because age is below the minimum requirement. Pushpa 2 is available in our movies database. Now I give Pushpa 2 with 10 tickets and age is 25. Here I will get a seat error. Cannot book 10 seats for Pushpa 2, only 3 available, because how many available tickets we have, that what only we are showing. Look at this, how readable this is. Easy. When you read this except logs, you immediately understand what went wrong. This is a professional grade code. Now let's see some exception hierarchy for a custom based class. In real world, for large projects, you can create an exception hierarchy, a base exception for your app with a specific exception inheriting from it. Okay, let's see a few of them. This is the base exception for enter movie app. And now we are specifying exception inheriting from the this base. It's like a parent and this is a child's. Okay, now the class is a book error, booking error, movie app error. The information here inside the class we just pass and do nothing. Let's see one by one the classes for a reference. These are errors related to the movie app error, some payment error, database error. Okay, we do even more specific. It's like a seat not available error, booking error, and payment declined error. Even more specific. Now this is much powerful. You can catch at any level. See, I define the function with the process booking and the rising seat not available here. Even more specific and particularly row A, the seat 5 is taken like that. And the seat not available error and also booking error and movie app error. See the errors we give. Some booking error occurred and broader some movie app error occurred. This is exactly how Django, Flask, and other major frameworks handle their own exceptions. Now you know how to use and how they work inside. Now, chapter 3 Exception Hierarchy in Python. Python has a built-in exception hierarchy. Understanding it help you know which exception is to catch. Here is a simplified tree. Base exception, which is a system exist, keyboard interrupt, and exceptions inside a value error, type error, runtime error, and OS error inside that file not found error, permission error, and arithmetic errors like a zero division that we know now, and lookup errors, index error, key error, and so on. If you catch a exception, you catch almost everything except the systemic exit and keyboard interrupt. If you catch a lookup error is yeah, index errors and key errors. You catch this both index and key errors. This way you can identify the which error you got. We'll see some catching errors at different levels. For this, I'm taking a data which is a list of three numbers. One is 10, 20, and 30. Now I'm specifying a try. Here I'm saying print data of fetching with index number. Not index directly I'm fetching. Print data of 10. This may raise an error. That error is expect an index error. For this I am printing specific index out of the range because I give a data inside a 10. Data inside a 10 it reads as it is an index number. Okay, here we have index numbers only up to 0, 1, 2, 2 only. See, if I give index number 1, it prints the 20, and if I give index number here 2, it prints 30, and instead of that I just give 10. If I give 10, then the output is a specific index out of range. If I didn't give that except index error, it simply throw in a error. Index error expected except or a finally block. See this. Even I turn off the set try, then I just try to print data. The output is indentation. We'll see what is error. Now the perfect error is index error. List I index out of range. This is the error we got. Now the same thing I am here putting in a try this, and we'll get a error which is index error. Then for index error I am printing a specific index out of range. See the output without any red mark. We just print the error. And same thing also using a try to try to print data index number 10. Here in this case I am accept a lookup error. For lookup error I am printing some lookup error. Okay, the first one is only for a specific one, and lookup error is for both the index or a key error. We don't know which one, but we're specifying that it may be a lookup error, a mid-level lookup error, which exactly we don't know. Specifically we're not specifying here. Now also you can try broad way, print same thing and copying and pasting here. This is not mid level, this is the broad, and here I'm specifying some exception occurred. Which one we don't know, because in it is not a lookup error, it is like exception. Okay. Except exception. In exception, we have it might be a value error, type error, routine runtime error. It may be a arithmetic error, lookup error, and even we don't know which one. Okay, this way you can try and use different levels, whether it is a specific or a mid level or in a broad way, where we don't know which one. In that way, we can give the top one. But the best practice is always catching a specific and the not just a specific, most specific exception you can. So only go this a broader exception when you don't need to specify that specifically. At the time, use this broad exception. Otherwise, always look for which one suits for the particular situation and specify the exact error, whether it is a value error, runtime error, or if it is arithmetic error, specify the zero division error, and if it is a lookup error, specify it is a key or a index error. So always go as much as deeper you can specify that particular error. Let's go through the key best practices that separates beginner code from professional code. I'm trying a value which is a int. Int always I have to give a number, but instead of that number I'm giving a hello, okay, which is a string. And for this I'm expecting which type of error. Have a wild guess. Okay, if you don't know which one, for this I am just printing a error. See, when you have an error like this, does it make any sense to the user or developer? It doesn't make any sense. We don't know. We are know it's just an error, but which type of error we don't know. Okay, it is always a bad practice to handle this type of errors. For this, let's see what if it is which type of error we'll get. See, it is a value error, invalid literal for int with a base and hello. So it is a value error. Now I am opening this try and this I just remove that, and here I am expect the value error. Now I am printing invalid number format. I specified error, which type of error it is, as it's a value error. Then I print based on that invalid number format. This is always a good practice to handle this type of errors. And we can also use as to get error details. Let's see how to use this. I'm trying a result of 10 divided by 0, which is always a 0 division. And for this I am expect as usual 0 division error. As here I'm using as e. You can use any number as w, as r, as a t. Okay, I'm using a t. Here you can see I'm not specified what to print here. I just take a message what it gets when it is a 0 errors. So it just prints error division by 0. Let's see some real world patterns, how they really organize and layer this error handling. For this, firstly, I'm specifying classes, movie up error, then I simply pass this, then another class validation error. Here I'm giving exception and then pass. Then another class I'm creating, which is a not found error. It is like a before that class validation error is like a movie app error. So I'm just taking this from movie app error because of movie app error was already created. So I'm also taking a movie app error here. Okay, now simply pass. Then here it is a first layer 1 validation, which is the innermost. So this I'm creating a function. It is a function is a validation seats. The argument is a seats. If nor is a instance, it's like a seats comma int. Here I'm raising validation error. Is a seats must be a whole number. Okay. And if seats is a less than equal to 0, in this case I am raising a must book at least one seat. Okay, then If seats is more seats they get, seats is greater than 10. In this case, I'm raising a validation error, and that is a maximum 10 seats per booking. Okay, first layer was done, and it's time to lay second layer. That is a logic. Here I'm creating another function called process booking. Inside that, movie seats user balance. Okay, then I'm giving a constant one in all capitals. That is a movie prices. In the form of dict, I'm giving triple or 300. Spirit going to release in 2027. So at that time, movie ticket price is around 350 or 400. Okay. Now another one movie, Toxic. For Toxic, I'm giving a movie ticket price 250. Now, if movie not in our movie price list, movie prices, I am raising not found error. For this, I am formatting a movie. Movie is a movie not found. Not found. I am just raising another validation. It's a validation error here. So this can exact can raise a validation error. Then I am also calculating the total movie prices of movie multiplied and seats. If user balance is less than a total, for this I'm raising that is a movie app error. Here I'm insufficient balance, and along with need a rupees of total how much, and have how much a user have. I'm also printing user balance, then return total. Let's try this. This is a layer 3. Here I created a function called a main. The main can be accessed an entry point that runs the whole functions that we created previous. The all the functions it calls and it runs here. This as a entry point. So I am trying total process booking. Here I'm giving a data and movie name Spirit and tickets around 3, and my user balance is 500. Okay, then I'm printing. If the booking was successful, I'm printing successful and along with amount charge in a rupees of total. I'm trying this. For this, what type of errors I get, I'm expecting here. I accept first validation error as E I'm taking. Then if it is a validation error, print validation failed, and then another one accept not found error, as here I'm printing not found error, and then I also expect movie app error. They all the errors we already initiated here. And finally last I'm using one broad exception, which is accept exception anyone. First I'm printing, I don't know which type of error it is, so that's why I'm printing a unexpected error. Then finally at the end I want to print finally. The finally block always prints whether booking successfully or it is unsuccessful. So that's why I'm printing a session ended. Then I'm calling my main function. See, after printing, you'll see one thing, unexpected system error. That was a, I didn't specify the particular error. So that is a name valid seat is not defined. That is validate seats. That's while writing, I told you this may raise a validation error. Here it is. It is not defined. So exactly that unexpected error. This one. Now I am undoing this. I'm removing that. Then see, now we got a booking error because insufficient balance need 1050. I have only 500 in my balance. So that's a I want a Spirit movie and 3 tickets. I have only 500 in my balance. Now in this case, I am going to go with one ticket only. See, booking successful. Amount 350 charge. The session ended. If I give 20 tickets, in this case, booking error. The insufficient balance needs 700. I have a 500 only. Okay, how much I have? Here I try to print triple R. Triple R we have in a movies list. Triple R and price is 300, and triple R, so I give a 0. In this case validation failed, must book at least one seat. Okay, I am going to book for a toxic. For a toxic, I am going to print 3 tickets. See, booking successful. Amount charged 750. The session was ended. This is how real applications are structured. Multiple layers, each handling with it what it knows about exactly. With a top level handler for anything unexpected. We give here unexpected error exception. Here you have practice questions in 3 levels: beginner, intermediate, advanced. In beginner level, we have a create a custom exception called negative number error, and then write a function square roots that tries it if n is a negative, otherwise returns the square root using n square root of 0.5. And then intermediate, here you need to build a movie rating system with a custom exception invalid rating error if rating is not between a 0 and 5, sorry, 0 and 10. And the custom exception duplicate error movie error if the same movie is added twice, or a dictionary to store movie ratings, a function to add ratings, and exception handling. Okay, then in advanced level, we need to create a complete exception hierarchy for a Tollywood streaming platform, like how we created before for the 3 layers of real world pattern, how this works. In the same way, you need to create a streaming app error base one, then authenticating error, invalid credential error, session expired error, then content error, movie not found error, and region blocked error. And the payment error is a code declined error and a subscription expired error. Write the functions that raises these exceptions and demonstrate catching at different levels. Okay, don't miss this. Try in your VS Code and know your which level you are in. Try hardest as possible you can. Hectic wrap up. In this video, we will learn rising exceptions with the rise keyword and creating custom exception classes by inheriting from an exception and building an exception hierarchy for real world applications, and understanding Python's built-in exception tree. And we also saw best practices for professional error handling and the real world layered error handling pattern. Okay, and the next class we move to file handling. We'll learn how to read from and write to file, one of the most essential skills for any real world application. Stay tuned. Happy coding. Thank you for choosing HNM Technologies online training, and bye bye.